Now the latest from ITV News in the Channel Islands with Jonathan Wills and Richard Pallow.
Hello and welcome to ITV News.
The headlines on Channel tonight: a cap on the cost of Jersey's new hospital. That's what some want to happen, but what could a slimmed down budget mean? We're going to look at the latest development.
Also, a very good evening. Plans for Jersey's new hospital have long divided politicians and people alike. We've repeatedly heard arguments about where it should be and complaints about how long it's taken to build.
Well, its location at Overdale might finally have been signed off, but it's the predicted cost that's now under scrutiny, with some saying the bill for the project should be capped at £550 million.
And yes, that might sound like an awful lot of money, but it's considerably less than the original budget that was set aside. And Eastlyn Jones has been following the story and is at the site for the new hospital at Overdale tonight for us. And Eastlyn, this is a project which at the moment still has no real end in sight.
Well, Richard, it's certainly a project with plenty of hurdles. As you'll recall, there was first the question of location, then it was access. Now it's the money question. £804 million is what Senator Farnham wants signed off, but scrutiny have different ideas. They say it's excessive. He says it's realistic, and ultimately it'll be for the states to decide in a couple of weeks' time.
It's a saga that's rumbled on for years, with a bill that's continued to spiral for each year of planning. Next month, the minister in charge is asking the states to agree to an expenditure cap of £804 million. He's also asking that it's funded through borrowing of up to £756 million. Not so fast, though, say Scrutiny, who've now lodged an amendment to cap spending at £550 million and borrowing at £400.
The public and we cannot see the evidence for the incredible growth of the project, and indeed our advisors state that there is no evidence for the size and scale of this project. Therefore, it is hard to understand why a project that at the last election was criticised for being asking for £466 million budget has now ballooned to £804 million.
Scrutiny think there is a more affordable way to deliver the project, which the Friends of Our Hospital group supports too.
We find that the costs do not stack up in terms of the outline business case that the government have put forward. The £804 million is a figure that isn't even agreed by both Treasury and Senator Farnham. The fact is we have different numbers, none of which exceed £500 million. In fact, most of which are significantly short of £500 million. So the question is, why are we borrowing £800 million to fund perhaps a £500 million hospital?
But Senator Farnham says they are hoping to come in under budget. He also questions Scrutiny's maths.
First of all, it would be very helpful for Scrutiny to share with us their evidence around the selection of that figure of £550 million. It's a conveniently round number, but I want to be absolutely clear that suddenly to ask for a reduction of over £250 million from the very carefully prepared financial forecasts and budgets would halt the project.
The hospital and the budget are due to be debated on the 5th of October, and it's the level of finance they'll secure that'll dictate the way forward.
So Eastlyn, where does this all leave us now?
Well, Senator Farnham says the views that we're hearing now, both from Scrutiny and from the Friends of the New Hospital group, really are views on what they think the hospital should cost, rather than the reality of what it does cost. In addition, this is, of course, a very different proposition than ones we've seen previously, which have focused on the current hospital site. The move up here to Overdale also involves an acquisition of land. That's part of the budget and really an asset to the island in the future. But there's also the release of the existing health estate, which will be freed up for public users, whether housing or something else, and bringing money back into states' coffers once this is done. Now, tomorrow, government will be presenting updated hospital visuals. That's followed extensive engagement and feedback, and we're expecting also to learn more about what will happen with Westmount Road and what that will look like. Next week, there'll also be a more detailed public run-through of exactly where all those millions will be spent.
And so it rumbles on. Eastland, thank you.
For watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.